Hey, what's up guys? Today I'll show you a romantic science fiction film, The Discovery. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. The Discovery is a film about a science fiction story wherein one scientist, Thomas Harbour, discovers the assurance of life after death. Its interesting plot makes viewers be compelled to know what would be the instances when people expect the afterlife. As good as advancement in technology as it sounds, it is still problematic as technology starts to take control of humans' perception of life. The moral of the film is to appreciate love and family while it is still possible. Human life is as fragile as a wine glass, and not giving back to people important to you could mean forever regretting it. Even in a super advanced technology wherein people could know about the afterlife, it could not still make up for the regrets that we committed along the way. This film stands out from other scientific films because it gives a meaningful message beyond its genre. We can see in this film all the potential answers we have been wondering what people would do if they found out there is life after death. The movie begins when an interviewer talks with Thomas Harbour for national broadcasting. Thomas Harbour is the man that scientifically proved life and consciousness after death. The interviewer says to him that his discovery is too dangerous for the world to learn about because millions have already committed suicide when they found out that there is an afterlife. Thomas says that he could not keep a secret to something very important in the human experience. He also says that he could not call this discovery an afterlife or heaven and hell. He describes it as the movement and the transcending of our consciousness in another plane. The lady interviewer gives him a smug look, saying that celebrities, athletes, and even close friends already took their own lives because of this discovery. She asks Thomas if he feels responsible for all these deaths. Thomas says he does not feel responsible for all the lives taken away. Only seconds after the interview, one person in the production team thanks Thomas for his fresh start. As soon as he finishes saying it, he takes his gun, puts it on his head, and kills himself in front of all the other people. The interviewer becomes distressed and feels grief. One day, an adult man is boarding a ship. The television flashes the news about the on-air suicide that has happened. The man clearly does not like what is airing on the television. That is why he immediately turns it off. A passenger complains because she is listening to the news. The man says sorry because he thought he was alone. The man goes near the girl and starts talking to her. The girl introduces her name as Isla. She says that she has had motion sickness throughout the travel time. The man also introduces himself as Will Stevenson, a neurologist. Will asks Isla if she believes in the discovery. Isla says that she feels overwhelmed by the discovery, but she believes it. She could not just understand the suicide groups that have been happening, because she thinks it is very weak for people to commit them. As a neurologist, Will tells a story that one of his patients celebrated when she found out that she had brain cancer. Will thinks that this discovery is really affecting how people think. Isla says that it is a way to escape the pain. After leaving the ship, Will's brother Toby picks him up in the car. While on their way to their dad's home, they see a mass burial happening in the cemeteries. Toby says that people who they knew before are killing themselves just to get to the afterlife. It is revealed that Will and Toby are the sons of the genius Thomas Harbour. It is the first time for Will to see the house that his dad bought in this area. He feels overwhelmed because it is really massive and looks like a castle. Toby explains that they need a big sanctuary because they are housing people who attempted suicide before to give them something to contribute to this life. On their way inside to meet their dad, they go to a laboratory. Will notices that his dad is lying on a bed. Many apparatus are attached to him. They are doing an experiment that requires killing and rebooting people back to life. Toby says that the longest their dad has been dead is 60 seconds. Will finds this ridiculous and describes the whole house as a cult. Toby disagrees and describes it as an essential experiment for humanity. Thomas, their dad, wakes up from the experiment and talks to Will. Will asks his dad to stop all the experiments and turn them in. His dad says that he will not stop doing the experiments because humans need the truth. He also says that he cannot stop 40 years worth of work for nothing. Thomas believes that after telling the people about life after death, they now deserve to know what lies behind it. That is why they are experimenting on people, killing themselves, and bringing them back to life to see what is on the other side. Distressed, Will goes outside their house and has a little walk. While contemplating, he sees Isla on the shore. At first, he finds it lovely to see her again, until he sees her going to the sea, planning to kill herself. With the help of an adrenaline rush, Will runs as fast as he can to save Isla. He swims and dives to search for her. After many attempts of diving and looking for her, he is finally able to reach her body and save her from impending death. As soon as he reaches her, Isla becomes angry and says that taking her own life is none of Will's business. She planned to kill herself and was ready to die at that time. To save her and give her a second chance to live, Will requests his brother to take Isla to their house and take care of her. At first, Toby says they cannot because there are rules that they need to follow. However, as their dad, Thomas, sees Isla, he begins to entertain her and starts to interview her for Isla to become part of their team. Will appreciates it. While Will inspects his room, his brother Toby comes in and says that their dad is inviting him to a special meeting later in the night. Toby says that the meeting would be massive because their dad will have to unveil another discovery. In the meeting, Thomas reveals that humans are now able to see what is in the afterlife. He developed an invention that records what would happen in life after death. To record it successfully, they have to find a corpse that they would be able to experiment with. Isla says that she has a plan on getting a corpse, stealing one in the autopsy room. With the help of Toby and distracting the doctor, Isla will sneak up in the room and find a corpse that will be well suited in the experiment. They finally find a corpse that they will use for the experiment. The body's name is Pat Phillips. They try to use the device on the corpse to see if it is working. However, after many attempts, they can still not see what is in the afterlife of Pat Phillips. After they leave the laboratory, Will sneaks up on the corpse to inspect it. Interestingly, in contradiction to the failed attempts, Will was able to see the corpse's consciousness on the monitor. Being disturbed about it, he turns it off and prepares the body for returning. Isla will bring back the corpse where they took them. After returning it, they return to their car. They find that they are romantically attracted to each other and start tongue massaging each other. Going home, Will is still haunted by the consciousness he saw on the monitor. To learn more about it, he checks the internet for the hospital that was shown in the video. Surprisingly, it is near their area. He borrows his brother's truck and goes to that hospital, and he finds that it is all identical except that there is no extended hallway in there, unlike in the recorded consciousness. He asks the janitor if there used to be a hallway there. The janitor says yes, but they did a remodeling about a decade ago. Will says this secret to Isla. They are suspicious that the consciousness that was shown in the monitor is not really the afterlife. Rather, it is the memory of the dead corpse they have done the experiment with. Will's theory is that his father invented a device that is able to record the memories of a dead person rather than its afterlife. Will invites her to go with him inside the hospital again to inspect it. They sneak inside the records section to find more about the history of Pat Phillips. Inside there, they find the record of Connor Phillips, the father of the dead body. They believe that the consciousness they found in the video is Pat Phillips' memory of going to the hospital to check on his father 13 years ago when he died. Their theory is that the device records the memory of dead people. One night, Isla inspects the video more thoroughly. She says to Will that it is impossible to be a memory because Isla notices that Pat's left arm has a different tattoo in the recorded consciousness. Isla suggests that they need to find something that still exists in the video to prove that it is just a memory. Will says that they need to look for the woman in the video. Will remembers that written in Connor Phillips' death certificate is their home address. Will thinks that they should go there tomorrow to find the woman present in the consciousness. Very first thing in the morning, they go to the residence and successfully find the woman in consciousness. They find out that she is Pat Phillips' sister. Her sister is not really feeling grief when she finds out her brother is already dead. The strange thing they learn about this meeting is that the woman says her brother Pat never visited their dying dad in the hospital. They now wonder who that person in the video is if it is not Pat Phillips. One afternoon, while Will and Isla are together, Toby storms off in their room and says that their dad is now hooked up on the device because he wants to prove that it works. With no choice, Will confides to the people that the device works and there is no need for their father to be put at risk. During the experiment, the consciousness of their father flashes on the monitor. It was the day of the death of their mother. Originally, their mother committed suicide because their father did not spend time with her on their anniversary. However, in the consciousness, it is shown that their father paves the way for his wife and sets aside work to have dinner together. The brothers know this is not exactly what happened. After the rebooting of their father, they talk about what happened. Their theory now is that after people die, they go into an alternate reality wherein they can correct their past life regrets. It is a version with few differences, but better life decisions. They realize the danger of the device if all the people are to find out about it. They decide to destroy the machine to prevent chaos from happening. Thomas decides to tell the truth to all the people living in their house. As he gathers all of them in the fields, he starts giving a speech. However, in between his talking, Lacey comes and shoots Isla with the gun. She says that she does not kill her but only relocates her. Not long after, Isla is found lifeless and not breathing. Out of Will's grief from Isla's death, he goes to the device and hooks himself up. He wants to save Isla from her death. After the shock, he returns to the ferry where he runs into Isla, who tells him that this is just a memory. Will realizes that he is stuck in a memory loop, striving to prevent Isla's death, and he keeps restarting on the ferry. Isla says that he saved her already and that they will now go on. Will dies despite Toby and Thomas' efforts to revive him, and he promises Isla that he will remember her. His dad and his brother fail to revive him because it is too late. After his death, Will is seen standing on the beach, and he notices a small boy in the sea and rescues him. Isla, the mother of the young child, arrives and expresses her gratitude to Will. They have not seen one another in a long time. He walks away when she leaves, but as he begins to remember who Isla is, he comes to a halt and slowly returns his gaze. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your fun for today.